Airtime for this program is paid for by the Yavapai County Contractors Association, and they are solely responsible for its content.
On AM 1130 by 99.9 FM, Prescott, Chino Valley, and Paulden 95.5 FM, Prescott Valley and Cottonwood, the talk of the Quad Cities, KQNA. It's
Hammer Time.
Waking Up with the YCCA. Hammer Time is brought to you by Lawhorn Plumbing, Verde Valley Alarm Services, Permit Pushers, Prescott Home Safety, Greenlee Designer Services, Get Right Mitigation, Franklin Plumbing, The Blind Brothers, Caltex, Vicente Landscaping, Barrett Propane, and Badger Roofing. And now from the studios of KQNA, it's Hammer Time, Waking Up with the YCCA. Here's the Executive Director of the Yavapai County Contractors Association, Sandy Griffiths.
Hey everybody, good morning. Happy Memorial Day weekend. Mike, are you going anywhere, or you went to the boat, or?
Yes.
All of the above,
All
yes.
of the above.
Okay, I got it. So Monday is a holiday.
Correct.
I might be staying home in my jammies all day.
Well, that would be a first.
It would be.
Usually I can run by the office. It doesn't matter whether it's a Saturday, Sunday holiday, and I see the little black car there.
You see my sled there. But anyway, happy weekend, everybody. Thanks for tuning in to Hammer Time, brought to you by Yavapai County Contractors Association and what?
And our lovely, great, irreplaceable sponsors.
Oh, that's a magnificent statement. Yes, we love our sponsors. Without them, we would not be on air for sure. So we have a wonderful program this week. But let me revert back to last weekend with our Humboldt Unified School District feeding the kids all summer.
What a great
Whoa.
program.
I bet you want to drive one of the buses with the food, don't you?
As they say, how's it go? The wheels on the bus go round and round?
That's right.
But that's a great program for our kids.
It's very good. So Pam Luizo and our food guy, and my gosh, I forgot his name. But anyway, what a great program, and thank you for your hard work, Humboldt Unified School District. We can feed our kids for free throughout the entire summer, and you don't even have to be kids going to school there.
Or in the Humboldt district either.
Correct. You can have grandkids if they're coming to visit you. Feed them for free.
Right. And we want to wish, before I forget, we want to wish her, Pam, a great and happy
his retirement.
But I'm sure we will see her in the buses carrying those meals back and forth.
So great program, listeners. You can tune into archives and listen away. But we have a marvelous show this morning for everybody. We're going to talk trees.
Perfect.
What is a tree?
Well, are you ready?
How does a tree grow?
We're going to branch out and find out.
Oh, that was very good. Wow, Mike, I'm impressed.
I've been working on that all morning.
Okay, so let's make like a tree and leave for our commercial break.
Ooh, another zinger.
Yahoo! So take us to break, and when we come back, we will... I like the branching out one. That was very good.
We're going to meet the proprietors of the
trees.
We'll
be right back.
More
Take us to break.
You're listening to Hammer Time, brought to you by Yavapai County Contractors Association, and we're tickled pink to be airing on Talk of the Quad Cities, KQNA 1130 AM, 99.9 FM, and in Cottonwood and Prescott Valley, 93.3 FM. So, excuse me, that's 95.5 FM. So please stay with us for some great messages from our ever so valuable sponsors. Fill up that cup of coffee or grab that OJ, and we'll be right back.
You're listening to Hammer Time, Waking Up with the YCCA, a presentation of the Yavapai County Contractors Association. Once again, here's your host, Sandy Griffiths.
Hey everybody, good morning and welcome to Hammer Time, brought to you by YCCA. Before we get into our program, Mike,
yes,
what happened with the margarita thing I brought you.
I'm embarrassed to tell you I have not cracked the lid yet.
Seriously? You
It's
haven't opened it?
No, but it's in the reefer. It's in the
Okay.
refrigerator
All
cooling
right.
off.
But you've been through a couple weekends. Come on, guy.
I know I'm letting down those who are,
You are.
admirers of margaritas.
Yes, you need to re-gift that back.
I'll re-gift it after I open it
Okay,
and try
perfect. So, our engineer, it's like, oh, Sandy, I like snacks. You don't ever bring me any snacks. I work so hard for you. I give you extra time at the end of the show. So, engineer, I brought you a whole bag of snacks today.
Ooh.
I mean,
Wow.
let's see what's in here. Look, I brought you a chocolate cake.
Uh-huh.
I brought you cookies.
Uh-huh.
I brought you one of my very favorite salami sausages.
Ooh.
Oh, and I brought you some grass-fed and finished beef sticks.
All right.
And I brought you some sweet and spicy buffalo jerky.
Outstanding.
So could
Thank
I
you.
please have extra time on my show?
Well, at this point, I will refrain from
Man,
mentioning the exaggeration of the intro to this story,
don't do
but
that.
the truth was stretched slightly,
Not hardly.
but that's okay. You made up for it.
Thank you. Okay, so munch away and enjoy your snacks. So our guest with us this morning, we have Mr. Will Nakayama. Did I say that right, Will?
Yes, ma'am.
Perfect. He is the owner of Chino Valley Nursery, along with his wife, Vicki. And she is with us today, but she is silently supporting Will through the radio show.
Perfect.
But she is a most beautiful woman, and I'm happy that she's with us. Yay, Vicki.
Agreed.
So Will is the owner of Chino Valley Nursery. You have such a great story to tell, my friend. Your dad started the nursery in 1971.
Yes, that's correct, Sandy. Yes.
He came over from Japan? Was he born in Japan
he
or
was-
was he born here?
He was born in California.
Okay.
Yes, 1922. His parents came from Japan. Yes, and he was born in California, grew up there, grew up as a farmer. Japanese, they're farmers.
That's right.
And the growing things and farming was in his blood, family's blood.
So have to ask, though, what brought him to Prescott or to Chino Valley?
Well, he was in the internment camp after the war, after Pearl Harbor, and he was down south of Phoenix and spent some time in the internment camp there. And I think because of that, he was familiar with the area, and he had met my mother in California, and they ended up going to Mesa, and he was farming there for a while and just happened to get up to this area and liked the area and moved here.
He probably came up in the summer and said, you know what, it's a little cooler up here.
Well, yeah, it had to be, because one of the things that he had mentioned was it was during the monsoons or after the monsoons, and the hills were nice and green, the grass was growing. He liked that, so that you're
Very
probably
cool.
right, getting out of the heat.
Very cool.
So, and his name was George Nakayama.
George Nakayama.
And
yes.
gosh, born in 1922, that he would be 103
3 years old.
years old today.
Right.
Yep, that sounds about right.
Gosh,
Yeah,
that's
I can't do that in my
amazing.
head, but yes, he passed away 2 weeks before his 96th birthday.
Oh, my word.
Yes.
Well, Will, it sounds like you're going to be running the nursery for a gazillion more years with those kind of genes.
Yeah, I was going to say, you got some longevity in your genes there, buddy.
Yes, he probably took better care of himself than I do, but we'll see what is in store.
So, Chino Nursery, I'm so excited. You and your son, Chris, and his wife, Alicia, you were at our home show this past April.
Yes, we were. First time.
First time, and they had some beautiful trees in their booth. And all Chino Nursery sells are trees.
Correct. Yep. Trees only. No shrubbery, no flowers, no bedding plants. Yes, trees. And we're gravitating more towards the larger specimen size tree. That's kind of our niche.
Okay, so do you order, Will, these trees in and they're already full grown? Or do you bring in little bare root trees and you nurture them along?
Yes, that's kind of the bare root thing. We're not propagating anything, but we are ordering small, very small rooted cuttings or starts, and we're growing them here. Onto the sizes that we're selling them at, and so they're acclimated to this area, which I think is a good thing.
Okay, that's good.
That's important.
Yes, as opposed to bringing them in from Oregon or whatever into a arid climate like this. I think that there's less shock for them when they're adjusted to this area already.
About how long does it take on average for the, and I'm saying saplings, but they're really not saplings, they're smaller than saplings. How long does it take you to grow those to the size that you're marketing?
Well, it depends on what size of a plant container that we're going to be, trying to go for. Like a 5-gallon tree, we can, have one of those ready for sale in a year, maybe 2 years, and then we'll go to a 15-gallon from there. And our largest is a 24-inch box. Some of those, I'm guessing that we've got 8+ years in some of those boxes.
Wow.
To get them to a saleable box-sized tree, a nice specimen tree. And that depends on the variety also.
Sure.
Some are faster growing than others.
Now, if Sandy was out there helping you, every one of those trees that are 8 years old would have names.
Yes, they would.
Well,
They would all
I
be-
believe that, yeah.
Do they have names?
None of them, no. Yeah.
Except for tree.
Just
Just
trees,
tree.
yes.
Come on, tree.
Sure, they have names. It's B, line B, 23.
Exactly right.
That's a good, Mike, you just brought up a great question. So if I came to the nursery and I said, well, I want the largest box tree you have, would you know where to guide me? Do you have like a little layout of a little Excel spreadsheet and we go right to this big tree?
That's funny you say that. My wife, Vicki, she is such an organizer, and I am the polar opposite of that.
Okay.
She's made a nice little flyer that the people can come in and get to take with them. We've got a pretty good sized property. It's about 5 acres. So
Oh, my gosh.
It's a lot to cover, and she's organized everything. It's by rows, and she's got the species that are in that row, the size of container that is in that row, and so if you want, you can go right to what you're looking for with that little flyer,
Okay, so we've got trees that are contained in a container. They're like root balled and root growing into this tub. Do they stay in? Do you have to transplant them into larger tubs to make them grow even bigger, or do they stay in this tub until somebody comes along and buys them?
Well, yes, we start out with most of our smallest stuff would be a 5-gallon size container. And, when they outgrow that, then we'll move them up to a 15-gallon size container.
And you do that yourself?
We do all of that
Wow.
transplanting ourselves, yes, or containing ourselves. Yeah, we get the bare root trees in, and we're doing all the containing, all the dirt work, and water and time.
So is this like a 24/7 tree management process?
It feels like a 24/7, absolutely. Whether it's Sunday or a holiday, if they need a drink of water, they need a drink of water.
They need a drink of water.
Yes.
Oh my gosh. Okay. Will, we need to take a break, Mike. We need to take a break. And I panicked when I saw all the leaves falling off the trees. But luckily, they grew back. What a relief.
Oh, boy.
We'll be right back.
You're listening to Hammer Time, waking up with the YCCA, a presentation of the Yavapai County Contractors Association. Once again, here's your host, Sandy Griffiths.
Welcome back to Hammer Time, and our guest with us this morning is Mr. Will Nakayama. He and his wife Vicki own Chino Valley Nursery, And you know what, you guys? Even though trees don't celebrate Valentine's Day, they're still very sappy.
Boy, I'm not sure where she's coming up with all these, Will, but she's got a pocket full of them.
We're talking about...
No wonder I got all those snacks.
We're talking about Chino Valley Nursery, a tree farm, a tree nursery. Nothing but trees.
Perfect.
Okay, so where do your little baby trees come from?
Well, we've got several different suppliers.
Okay.
Some of them come from California.
Okay.
Some from Oregon. Some are back east. North Dakota, we'll get a few things there.
And they just come in a little box, a little bare root tree.
Some of them do come in a cardboard box, shipped by a UPS or FedEx or something with a bare root with the little protectant around the roots and just small little guys about the size of a pencil.
Seriously?
Wow. Yes,
and then
they're
they
smaller.
grow into these big trees?
Yes.
Okay, so what's your best-selling tree?
Boy, I don't know. Maybe a red maple, like an autumn blaze maple.
Those
People
are so
really
pretty.
love those. Yes.
Yeah. One of the subdivisions here in town in Prescott requires in the subdivision 2 autumn blaze maples per lot. And so that doesn't surprise me. That's a very pretty, very pretty tree.
Good choice. Yeah, it is. Beautiful tree.
And they do well in this climate.
Yes, they do. Yes,
Okay,
they
do you know all of the tree names?
Well, pretty much of what we carry, not all of the tree names of all of the what we have.
Okay, but
Yes.
you know all of yours.
Yes, I do.
Okay, how many different tree varieties do you have on the nursery?
Gosh, that's a tough question. Yeah, I would say around 20 or in the 20s,
Okay.
maybe. Yes.
Nifty. Are the trees on a sprinkler system, or do you have to hand water?
No, there's not one tree in a container on that property that requires hand watering. If it did, it would be dead because I would forget it. That's how I operate.
I only offer sprinkler watering,
Yes.
no hand watering.
No, I would walk away from it, and when I'd get back to it, it'd be too late. It'd be done.
That's funny.
Yeah.
So do you and Vicki live on the property with the trees?
Yes, we do. We're living on the property in my father's old mobile home.
Oh my gosh,
very
how
neat.
cool is that?
Yeah, it's handy for sure. Walk out the door, and we're right there.
Okay, so do you deliver trees, or is it up to the purchaser to move it out and plant it?
No delivery.
Okay.
We don't have the personnel
Right.
for that. We'll load it on your truck or trailer, or that's about as far as we go with it.
And you know what? That's understandable.
Sure. But some of those trees, especially with a 24-inch box, those are pretty heavy containers.
Yes, they are. Yeah, that we're moving that around with a machine, a little bobcat with an implement on the front to pick it up.
Cool.
Yeah, they get pretty heavy. Yeah.
Okay, does Vicki drive the Bobcat?
No, I haven't got her to do that yet. But she's out there most every evening, pulling weeds and suckering and checking that the irrigation hoses are on and trees are getting watered. And
That's it. Why do those little suckers grow up from the bottom of a tree?
well,
What makes that happen?
some of them just do that. They'll just come from the roots and like an aspen tree. That's the way that they propagate is coming a new tree from the root,
Okay.
and that's how they do it.
So your son Chris is going to be heir apparent, right, at some point in time?
Yep, he's part-time there at the nursery right now, kind of going through that transition, and next year it'll be 100% him.
And he's getting used to all of Vicky's spreadsheets, right? So he knows where those trees are located.
Yes, he is. Yes, he is. Yeah, it's a helpful tool.
So are all of your trees deciduous?
No, we've got a couple different evergreens.
Okay.
2 different evergreens, actually. Colorado blue spruce and Deodora cedar.
Oh, I love those Deodora cedars. Mine are growing little pods, little seed pods. my Deodora cedars. They're like 15 years old, and they're growing seed pods.
It must be they're making cones then. Huh?
Yes, they are.
Yeah. Yeah, good.
It's kind of cool.
Yes. Yep. Yeah, and it takes them a while before they get to that point, age-wise. I don't know how long, but till they get to do that.
Yeah, I was really shocked when I saw those. I don't know if they're boy cones or girl cones, but they're doing their cone thing.
It's a girl cone.
Oh, it is?
Yeah, that is a real good evergreen for this area.
I love those things. They're just beautiful.
Yeah, very graceful, very hardy,
Yes.
drought tolerant. Yes, really good tree for this area.
So now, Sandy, Will just slid something by us that he thought was going to just go right by, but I caught it.
Okay.
Because he said next year at this time, Chris will be 100%. So where's Will going to be? And where's Will and Vicki going to be?
Good point.
Well, we'll be in the background offering advice and maybe a little physical help
Is that
when he wants.
that our word in store then, retirement?
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm looking for. A little me time, a little retirement. It's time.
Yep. And then maybe a little travel, and you'll have somebody there to tend to the watering in the nursery?
That's exactly what we're looking for.
You've earned it.
Yep,
You've earned it.
yep.
So your dad started the nursery in 1971.
Yes, yes.
Gosh, that had to be one of the earliest businesses out in Chino Valley.
Might be the oldest business in Chino. I'm not sure, but if it's not the oldest, it's definitely one of the oldest businesses.
Okay, so where is it exactly in Chino Valley?
We are at 827 West Road 3 North, which is McDonald's is on the corner.
I know where McDonald's
Yes,
is.
well, you just go west on that road next to McDonald's, about an eighth of a mile, and we're on the left-hand side.
Okay, so if I'm at the McDonald's and the main highway, is west, left, or right?
Yeah, well, coming from Prescott, it'd be a left.
Okay, turn left down by where the county offices are, and the fire station down that
Yes,
road.
well, if you know where that is,
do.
If you've gone to that point,
Yes.
you've passed us already.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we're easy to miss. We're kind of hidden. We got a nice big hedge and a lot of trees there, and it's, you don't drive by and see a lot.
Are you open on the weekends?
Saturday. We're Tuesday through Saturday, 9
Okay.
to 4.
Okay,
Yes.
cool.
Yeah. Look for the yellow bicycle on the sign.
So you get Sunday and Monday off.
Well, sort of. other than making sure everything is getting watered.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you have a lot of walk-in traffic, or do homeowners, are they your tree purchasers?
Yes, basically our clientele, it's homeowners, but we do cater to landscapers
Okay,
also. We
perfect.
got landscaper prices for licensed landscape contractors.
Wow, this is just so cool. So you have multiple, I think I'm just so fascinated, Mike, that these trees come in little cardboard boxes, just laying in a swath of cloth, and then you guys plant them in buckets,
Yep, that's exactly what we do.
and then they grow up to be big trees.
Yep.
I'm impressed also because I am one self-proclaimed brown thumb. I do not have a green thumb. So even if it came to me in a pail that was packed with mulch and everything else, I would still probably be questionable as to whether it would survive. So the fact that they can take something that's bare root and bring it to fruition, I'm impressed.
Well,
I'm
I tell
impressed.
you, Mike, it's all about the water here. It's a desert. It's a high desert, but it is a desert, arid environment.
So you could get them too wet, right?
Well, you can,
Okay.
but most people's problem is not too wet. It's usually not enough water.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Do you fertilize?
Yes, we fertilize,
Okay.
sure. Yeah, got to fertilize. And there's a few other things. And in this area, high pH here with our water and soils can be a bit of a problem with some things. Like the maple trees, they like a little extra iron, or maybe when you plant, put some soil sulfur and gypsum to help correct that high pH imbalance, and they'll like you for that.
Huh.
And some of us builders need to pay special attention to not burying things like concrete
Yes.
and cinder blocks and whatnot. The alkalinity doesn't do well.
No, yeah, that just adds to the problem
Yep.
when those kind of things are incorporated into the soil. Yes,
Exactly.
you got it.
And Mike is right when he said he had a brown thumb. He has plastic pink flamingos in his yard.
Well, that's okay.
I mean,
There's nothing wrong with that.
He has no plants, no trees, just fake pink flamingos.
I told her that 5 to 10 years ago, and she still believes that.
I'm sure you've got some trees in your yard.
Okay, so we have to take a break. And with that, I'm so bad at gardening, even my trees don't root for me. That should be your joke.
a good one.
I've never heard that. Yeah, I like that.
Listeners,
I'll have to use that.
we have to take a break, and when we come back, we will continue this super cool conversation with Mr. Will Nakayama, owner of Chino Valley Nursery. We're talking trees today, so don't move. We'll be right back.
You're listening to Hammer Time, waking up with the YCCA, a presentation of the Yavapai County Contractors Association. Once again, here's your host, Sandy Griffiths.
We're back on air. Happy weekend, my friends. You know, if you have to leave early or you just tuned in, remember you can catch a replay of our show tomorrow morning, Sunday. Same station, same time, and same great jokes.
And if they tuned in late on Sunday, they can still catch a replay. How would they do
On
that?
the YCCA website.
There you go.
We have a podcast, and we're on Spotify. So there you go. Okay, we have Mr. Will Nakayama with us this morning. He and his wife, Vicki, own Chino Valley Nursery. So, Will, when your dad was with us and he founded Chino Nursery, how did you get involved? As a little tyke, did he make you go out there? Did he say, son, you're going to get into the tree biz?
Well, yes. When he got the nursery, I was a young teenager, and I was some good cheap labor for him. So, yes, I'd weed the trees and water them and, care for them, do a little pruning. And we were growing some trees in the field and digging them out, putting them in a container.
Oh, okay.
And that's before we had a tree spade, and so it was done by hand.
Wow.
I dug a lot of trees with a shovel and pick out, and it was just labor, being around the nursery. When he needed a hand, I was his hand.
Boy, and transplanting like that without this tree spade,
It
that's
was a lot
Okay,
of
so
digging.
what's a tree spade?
A lot of shoveling.
machine.
Yeah.
Oh, it's a machine?
Hydraulic machine.
Oh.
Most of them have got 4 blades that get pushed into the earth, into a point, kind of an inverted pyramid.
Do you have one of those?
Yes, we do.
Okay.
Yes, we do now. Then in those days we didn't. We had very little machinery, and it was kind of on a shoestring budget. But over the years things did get better.
So are you still planting trees in the raw earth that you need a tree spade for?
No, we haven't. We've kind of got away from the field growing
Okay.
and the tree spade. It just seems labor intensive. You can grow a nicer tree faster in the ground, in the earth, than you can in a container.
Oh.
But you've got to go through the digging it up and transplanting it into the container, and that's a labor intensive thing. So yes, we're just container growing right now.
So when you were a teenager and your dad started a business, do you have any brothers or sisters?
No,
Oh, okay. So there was only one direction for him to look, and that was right at you.
that was me. Yes, sir. Yeah, and it was expected out of you, and you did it.
You
That's
betcha.
how it was.
So was he a tough taskmaster?
He was a pretty tough guy. Yes, he's one of those guys from that old school that he grew up that way. That's the way it was.
Right.
You did what was needed and what was asked of you, and you didn't complain about it. And that's he was a tough cookie at times.
So what else did he grow that was in his blood when he was in California? I mean, what other type of produce or product did he bloom and blossom?
Well, they were growing grapes and tree fruit mainly.
Okay.
The San Joaquin Valley.
Right.
And at that point in time, that they were famous
Right.
for that. And a lot of almonds over there now, but yes, the family was sharecropping. And actually my cousins are over there still farming today in that same area.
I'll be darned. Huh.
Yeah, they're switched over to almost exclusively almonds. Yes, just the water and the labor. You know, you got to change with the times.
Yep.
You know what I think is fascinating, Mike, and kudos to you, Will. You're actual tree growers. You just don't resell the tree.
Yep.
I mean, you're it. You're the blood, sweat, and tears of growing these babies.
Yes, yeah, that's one of the things that I think that is an advantage with us is growing them locally as opposed to importing a tree and just putting it right up for sale. That it's acclimated.
I really think you need to name them, though.
No. I might be sad when they go away then. I don't know.
That'd be funny. I really think they need names.
That is an important point, though, is the acclimation. Big difference.
Oh.
Yes,
Big
I
difference.
think so. I really
Okay,
really do.
so on all your buckets or your barrels or whatever these trees are in, do you have a little tag that says how old they are and when they were planted?
No, we're not going that far with it. They'll have
Okay.
a tag, with the species,
Okay.
and, a short description of, size or.
But no name.
Yeah, no personal names for each tree. I don't go there.
No name for Goldie or to Mike's elm or anything like that.
I wouldn't be able to tell them apart. They all look the same. I got a row that everybody looks the same.
You're right. That's so funny. Okay, I'm coming out there. I want a tree with my name on it. I want to have a tree named after me. That'd be so funny. So I think that Chino Nursery, I mean, what a pillar that you're in the community and it's been there forever. That's just remarkable.
Yeah, we were talking a little bit before we got on air and how much things have changed in being one of the first, if not the first, the commercial operation out there in Chino Valley. There's been a lot of change that's occurred.
There absolutely has been a lot of changes out there. Yes.
What's the biggest size box size? It's 24 inches.
24-inch
Okay.
box. That's what the nursery, the trade calls it. It's
Okay.
probably a little bigger than 24 inches square. And height-wise, I'm going to say some of the trees are probably approaching maybe 16 feet in height in the
Wow.
box. Yeah.
Because you had trees at the home show, and they were, a couple of them were like 8 feet tall.
Oh, well, they were bigger than that. We were struggling to get them out through the breezeway getting to our spot.
Yeah.
So you mean Mike didn't help you?
No, he was nowhere to be.
I was
nowhere
gone.
To be found.
Oh, man,
I'm
Will.
good at hiding.
I know.
Mike, next year, you're on Will with the trees.
So, were you in there Thursday morning or afternoon setting up?
Thursday morning.
Thursday morning.
actually,
They were in the
yeah.
concourse.
Man, and I was there Thursday morning. I thought I'd get away with it by saying I was gone Thursday afternoon.
You were there. Next year, you're going to hand take care of Will and the trees.
That's a deal.
Okay, we heard it right here on air. So take us to break. Can you come up with a funny joke?
I didn't have enough time.
That is not funny.
That's kind of a sappy joke, isn't it? Yeah.
Take us to break, my friend.
My pleasure. You're listening to Hammer Time. We've got a great informational dialogue going with Will and Vicki regarding Chino Valley Nursery. Great tree location for those who are looking for some homegrown, so to speak, trees that are acclimated. Want to go out and check them out. So you're listening to Hammer Time, as I mentioned. Please stay tuned, and we'll be right back.
You're listening to Hammer Time, waking up with the YCCA, a presentation of the Yavapai County Contractors Association. Once again, here's your host, Sandy Griffiths.
Back on air with Mr. Will Nakayama. His wife Vicki is with us, but we promised we would just let her sit in the corner and be beautiful.
And she's doing a great job of it.
She's doing a great job of that. And we found out that she does help Will. She goes out, pulls weeds.
Yep.
Talks to the trees, gives them water, makes sure they're okay. Plus, she's created this spreadsheet so Will knows where every tree is, every aisle.
Perfect.
I know. So kudos to Miss Vicki for doing all of the computer management.
Yes.
Okay, so Will, besides trees, you have no bedding plants, no flowers, no shrubs, but you do have dry goods.
Yes, we do have dry goods, kind of a one-stop shop for what's needed to plant a tree. We've got fertilizers and mulch and some soil amendments to kind of condition the soil as needed, and tree stakes. So, yeah, kind of make it more convenient if somebody wants to buy a tree that they could pick up everything else there at the same time.
So how do you know, because we don't know where that tree's going to be planted, so we don't know the soil conditions that tree is going to have. How do you educate a homeowner as to what type of nutrients they should be looking at?
Well, that is kind of a tough question. The soil composition and the color of the soil, a lot of times you can kind of get an idea, like a whitish, lighter colored soil. Most of the time is going to be high pH, an alkaline type soil. And with that, you'll know what to use to condition the soil. And different species require different things also. Some of them are okay with that high alkalinity and some are not.
Okay, so if somebody comes to your tree yard, your nursery, can they bring a sample of their soil and you would be able to look at it and share what nutrients to use?
Yeah, I can give an idea.
Okay.
I can give an idea. I mean, to really 100% know exactly what's going on with it, sending a sample to a lab would be ideal scenario, but sometimes that's not always the practical thing to do.
Sure, but the soil implements and the fertilizer in general and the mulch, that's going to work regardless of where they go and what their individual soil conditions are. That's going to at least get them started.
Sure, yeah, that's correct. Yeah, there's a lot of basics apply. Just like the mulch, you regardless of what the soil is, anything around here is not going to have much organic material in it. So adding the mulch is a good
Certainly
idea.
going to help. You bet.
Yes.
So you have a whole list of trees that you carry in the nursery. I've never heard of a Chinese pistache.
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 Mm-hmm.
What the heck is that?
That is it's a deciduous tree. It's a shade tree. Very hardy. Will give you some nice red fall color, real pretty red, orangish fall color. Yeah, good drought tolerant tree and
very cool. A Chinese pistache.
Yeah. And it tolerates the alkalinity pretty well. So it's a good choice for our area.
Oh, how cool is that? Okay, we all know what a quaking aspen is. We know what the Bradford flowering pear is. They're beautiful. Mm-hmm. The ash, the oak, the sycamore, the maple. You've got them all. What about the moraine purple robe?
That is a locust, purple robe locust tree. It's a pretty fast-growing locust. It's got some beautiful purple flowers in the spring, and then throughout the summer months, it'll give you some intermittent flowering off and on a little bit throughout the summer. Good shade tree.
I think I might be kind of attracted to this Chinese pistache.
Sounds kind of neat. Starts out green and then ends up with some very neat fall colors.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yep.
Now,
Vicki has put a book together that, she's got some pictures, leaf and mature trees and fall colors and things like that for our customers to look at.
So in the springtime when the flowering plums bloom, is it the Bradford pears that are the white flower or blooming flowers that come out, or blooming buds or whatever you call them.
Yeah, the
They come out-
blossoms. Yeah, the flowers.
Blossoms,
Yep,
thank you.
exactly.
You
come
see,
out
he
the same
has a brown thumb, Will. I mean, get your blossom and your bloom.
I know what
Okay.
I like. I just don't know how to deal with them.
Yes, you'll see an awful lot of those white
Yes.
flowers in the spring.
Yep.
Yeah, Bradford
Very
flower.
pretty.
You know
Very
what?
pretty.
We might have to put you at the nursery for a couple weekends to get some education going on.
Oh, Sandy, it would
I
take
would have
much
them there.
longer.
See, did
much longer than a couple weeks.
Will is all for it. You could be
Absolutely.
his student.
He's looking for free labor.
I was going to say, and it won't even cost him anything to learn.
There you go. I might come out and pull weeds at the nursery. That would be kind of fun.
You're more than welcome to come out and do that too. I'm totally on board with that.
I don't want to wreck my nails. I'd have to wear gloves.
I don't know that. It might not be for you.
How fun. So your hours of operation will Tuesday through Saturday, 9 to 4.
That's it, exactly.
Trees only with some dry goods. And the dry goods are not rice and beans or flour, it's fertilizer and nutrients
And mulch.
and mulch.
Yep, you covered it right there.
Perfect.
Perfect. You don't deliver. They have to take away on their own. They have to plant on their own. What else? The trees have no names, so
No
you won't be
names.
sad in selling them.
Not until they leave the driveway, and then it's permissible to name your own trees.
And your son Chris and his wife Alicia are kind of getting into the biz, so that will give you some relaxation time.
Yep, it's time for me to retire, and he's going to be taking it over, and he'll do a good job with it.
He
I'm
will do a
sure.
good job. It was most magnificent having them at the home show. I think they liked being there. They were very friendly. They were super
Yes, they
cool.
Yes, that's
They-
right up their alley. Yes.
They had a smile on their face, so
They did.
it was a good job. So how about when we come back, we'll have you share your phone number and your address. How's that?
Sure.
So listeners, why was the dog tree sad?
Oh boy, that's a curveball. I have no idea.
Because it lost its bark. We'll be right back.
You're listening to Hammer Time, waking up with the YCCA, a presentation of the Yavapai County Contractors Association. Once again, here's your host, Sandy Griffiths.
Will Nakayama, owner of Chino Nursery, what a real pleasure having you with Mike and me this morning. And for our listeners, Chino Nursery specializes in some of the nicest deciduous shade trees that grow well and are easily acclimated to our climate.
Perfect.
So please go by, visit Will, and meet Vicki at Chino Nursery. Will, give your address and your phone number, please.
Yes, our address is 827 West, Road 3 North, Chino Valley. That's down behind the McDonald's. Everybody kind of knows where that is. We're about an eighth of a mile down the road behind McDonald's. And look for our sign and the yellow bicycle on top
Perfect.
of that, and can't miss it.
And your phone number?
Phone number is 928-710-3128.
So listeners, please stop by, take a look at their current inventory. And you know, you're so proud of what you grow and what you sell. And I think that we are doggone fortunate to have Chino Nursery in our
I
community.
agree.
You're just not a nursery. You're a real nursery. You're real homegrown folks. That's what's so special about you. Open Tuesday through Saturday, 9 to 4. Thank you for being with Mike and me, my friend.
Well, thank you, Sandy and Mike, for having us here. It's a
You bet.
pleasure.
So listeners, 778-0040 is YCCA's phone number. Call me. We're here to help you with any of your construction contracting needs. We love our community, we love you, and we love our sponsors. So have a great weekend. It's Memorial Weekend. Stay home on Monday in your jammies
And be safe.
and be safe. Wear your seatbelt. Don't speed. Smile. eat your leafy greens and love everybody.
There you go.
We'll be right back next weekend. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Hammer time.
Thank you for tuning in to Hammer Time. Waking Up with the YCCA, a presentation of the Yavapai County Contractors Association. Heard each and every Saturday morning at 7, with an encore presentation Sunday mornings at 7 on AM 1130 by 99.9 FM in Prescott, 95.5 FM, Prescott Valley and Cottonwood, and online at kqna.com. A library of past Hammer Time shows can be listened to on the Yavapai County Contractors website at ycca.org.
Break it down.